This video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Sup fellow nerds, it's good to see you. So, what did you think of The Lion King? Yeah? I haven't seen it in donkeys, let me tell you. And if you were watching on BBC One last night, there's a good chance you were watching Lion King as well. So marks out of 10 for that? Let me know in the comments, yeah? Afterwards though, Legend of the Sea Devils. Well, big Chibbers and Jodie's penultimate outing together, but how did they do up against enemies we haven't seen since 1972? Well, I was expecting good things, because Chibnall, for all of his faults, he has been very good at bringing back returning enemies and doing something good with them, except this is where that streak unfortunately ended. There was nothing overtly offensive about this episode, but there was also nothing to write home about either. And I'll tell you what, it speaks volumes when people are more excited about the coming soon at the end of the episode than the literal 50-odd minutes that preceded it. That coming soon bit we'll obviously get to. So how did we get in this mess? Well, Madame Ching fancied a hunk of that statue and then things got messy. A sea devil returned, slaughtered almost everyone in sight, jumped on a rather ill-looking RLS legacy from Treasure Planet and fucked off! Look at this jump! Oh my god! Then we get to the bit that I was thankfully a bit more prepared for, thanks to the Doctor Who Twitter saying Sword meets Sonic, which was the Doctor whipping out the Sonic. I will continue to point this out because it's still really annoying. The amount of times, or the number of times that Jodie's been given either free rein or have been told to whip out the Sonic and do stuff with it is too many. It's as simple as that. Matt Smith's 11th Doctor suffered from this as well, nowhere near as bad as this though. Surely say any architecture about or the smell or the look of the sky could have determined that she maybe hadn't landed exactly where she'd hoped, instead of just, sonicking everything. Now, normally in my reviews when I point out the Sonic doing Sonic-y things, I'm normally very much one to say she could have done this instead, she could have done that instead, but do you know what makes this particular instance the most egregious? Intercut between her Sonicking random nothing, she actually did stuff. She did the things she could have done instead. Her earring going all weird and dragging her to the coastline. I know that wasn't her doing it herself, but it was something that wasn't just the Sonic going beep beep, oh there's a thing happening, and then skimming stones to see the kinetic gravity well, whatever it is. Like, they're the things that could have been done instead of her Sonicking stuff, so it's like, it's almost a self-aware thing. I think he's doing it to spite me. That wouldn't surprise me. We're barely into this episode and I'm already whinging about the Sonic. Good start. Moving on. Since you're watching this video, safe to assume you're a fan of Doctor Who, but what if you lived in a country that didn't have access to the Doctor's gallivanting on a streaming service, be it the classic series or the Doctor's new adventures? Well, that's where today's video sponsor Surfshark VPN comes into play. A VPN, or virtual private network, is a service which encrypts your data between you and the internet, keeping it safe from big corporations lurking about for their personal details or from the Cybermen from stealing your data. Plus, you can virtually change your location, so if you're out and about, say when I finally go to Disney World, I've been waiting like 2 years to go at the end of this year in Doctor Who airs, for example, I could change my location to the UK and watch the show on BBC iPlayer as if I were at home. What if you wanted to watch Classic Who and they didn't have BritBox where you lived? Change your location to somewhere that does and Bob's your uncle. No fuss, just more Daleks. If this sounds like your cup of tea, then Surfshark are offering you lovely people 83% off and 3 months extra for free if you use my code Hudson. You can click the link in the description below to find out more. Rule 1. Don't wander off. Yet Dan does, and the Doctor just lets him. Then her and Yaz wander off for some time travel within a time travel story to further set the scene, and that's what we get, a lot of scene setting. Madame Ching is looking for this lost wreck because she needs the treasure to release her captured crew and sons. Dan and Watsit follow her, while the Doctor and Yaz figure out what happened to the treasure of Ji Hun 300 years back, and the Sea Devils were there, no surprises. You get a lot of baggage to kick this story off. Nothing on the levels of like Flux Chapter 1, but you've still got a lot to take in to move forward. And because of that, the pace of Legend of the Sea Devils, it's constant. Everything just keeps on going and going and going and going and going. It keeps you on your toes, sure. But it's peculiar because it doesn't feel like anything is really happening even though stuff keeps happening. There's a big fuck-off sea monster, because there is. The Sea Devils are searching for the Keystone. No, not that chunk of statue that Madame Ching found earlier. No, something else we haven't seen yet we also need to try and keep track of. And it's been around this kid's neck the entire time. It was never alluded to, just nothing. Everything ramps up even more so from there. The Earth is doomed, now Squidward and co have some kid's necklace, and we have some proper pantomime fight scenes on the ship. Special mention to the Doctor doing a pissing front flip, because apparently she can, and our favourite Sonic Ex Machina briefly disabling a Sea Devil laser sword. It's all a bit higgledy-piggledy. Then we get jiggery-pokery, lots of lovely words today, down in the Sea Devil's base to condense everything and trap them for a long while. Bada bing, bada boom, Ji-hun sacrifices himself, Madame Ching gets the treasure she needs, and that's it. There is no peril, no substance, there's no heart to this episode. It's just all sort of there. As said, there's nothing offensive about it, but it's just kind of bland. The concept was alright, but the execution, as per, could have been better. The dialogue had its moments, as usual, and amidst the moments of genuine beauty, the underwater TARDIS scenes, my goodness, there were some proper ropey effects. I'm going to show the jump again right here. I proper belly laughed when that happened. What the hell were you thinking? Also, watch the cloth backdrop when Yaz hits the deck in the TARDIS. Someone should have been on Wobble Watch when shooting this bit. While in the grand scheme of things, every door that was opened was closed, at least in a narrative sense. Nothing completely broke and ruined everything, though there were still some holes. Why didn't we get a nod towards the Infinity Stone this kid was carrying before it was the centerpiece of the narrative? Why didn't Madame Ching get killed off at the beginning of the episode alongside literally everyone else at that point? Why did Dan swim out to the ship with the kid without, consulting the Doctor first? Rule 1. The Doctor shouts now and suddenly there's a trap for the opening Sea Devil? What? This episode was like a big loaf of delicious-looking bread, but you're being served it completely dry. No butter, no Nutella, no however you like your bread-based snacks, just bread. It's passable, but it needed more of anything. Positives though, I've got to say I really did enjoy the supporting cast this week. It's quite a surprise to see 3 supporting cast members that have actually got a surprisingly fleshed out backstory and justification for being part of that narrative. Hats off to Crystal Yu for a fantastic performance as Madame Ching. Seeing the Sea Devils again is dead cool, and I did enjoy their look harking back to, well, how they look. Though the use of the liquefy and bulging tools in post to make them more animated just got weird. There's something weirdly uncanny about seeing blatantly 2D effects being used on a 3D subject. Just a bit strange. I would have preferred for them to have tried to do that stuff practically. Like the actor inside's got like a bit of rod they just poke into the neck to make it move. It would have looked a lot jankier, but at the same time a little bit more charming. It's Doctor Who at the end of the day. Anyway, on to the heavier stuff. We're now into a new chapter, the next chapter of Thasmin, the big thing going on in Doctor Who as we reach her final episode. I really don't like the ship name Thasmin. As we saw in Eve of the Daleks, Yaz definitely has feelings for the Doctor, and the Doctor definitely has feelings for Yaz. No surprises it came into play once again, and no surprises, nope, there was no kiss. Inevitably, we'll get it in the autumn. Either that, or it'll get so close and bosh, 13 is now 14. The Tumblr tirade will be coming for you, Chris, so I would recommend not doing that. However, as we edge ever closer to these two inevitably becoming a thing, that thread that's pulling us along is getting thinner and thinner, and I really don't know how much weight it's going to be able to handle once we get to the autumn. I don't think people who are shipping the living daylights out of 13 and Yaz want to hear this, but unfortunately this is just fan service at this point. It's not woke pandering or anything like that, miss me with that type of commentary about Doctor Who, fuck people that think like that. But also, in the same time, please don't see me as someone who doesn't want to see a gay relationship on screen. Very much not the case with me. But 13 and Yaz, there's nothing really there. And while it will be a victory for representation if their lips do touch, and I'm pretty certain they will, it's going to feel more like a hollow victory in the context of Doctor Who. Why? Because the Doctor and Yaz don't click like you'd expect two characters who are falling in love to do so on a TV show. Some people might think very differently and say, no, they're amazing together. Yeah, look at my fan art. But contextually, they don't have that rapport yet, but they don't. They don't understand each other. Those ticks, those moments they lock eyes, those points when they can practically finish each other's sentences, they're not there. Case study, Rose. The first Doctor-companion relationship we saw through Series 1 and 2 that we saw chronologically at least progress from meeting through to falling in love and then, yeah, You saw the way they were with each other, the grins, the hugs, the everything. It was pretty explicit looking back that this was going to happen, and that's fine. That's how it should be portrayed to us, the audience. Yaz and 13 simply don't have that dynamic with each other. It's all just kind of awkward, but not awkward in the sense of it's awkward between these two because they really want to boink. It's just awkward. On the flip side though, what if this were like a sudden infatuation with each other? Well, again, case study, Martha Jones. She was head over heels in a matter of seconds. It was Tennant in a suit, who could blame her? And as I said on my podcast I did with Amy, Escaping Cerberus, we all know someone who just falls in love with someone like that. But again, that type of attraction was worn on the character's sleeve in Series 3, and we saw it develop. Here, with Yaz and 13, nout, nada, nothing. Now, I'm not saying I don't want this to happen, because if anything, why the hell not? Do it. Absolutely do it. It'll be huge for the Doctor to be involved, the titular character to be involved in an LGBT relationship. Things we've seen in Doctor Who a ton of since the reboot. Don't pretend it's not there. That makes you a dickhead. But seeing it be done with the Doctor themselves, that's huge. But I am saying that this whole thing could have been done a lot better. It's tough to be genuinely taken in by a relationship like that between Yaz and the Doctor when Yaz herself is still so thin on the ground. The longest serving companion in NuWho, I might add. And when we reach the autumn and we get that inevitable heartbreak between Yaz and this now regenerating Doctor, I don't think it's going to be within even sniffing distance of the emotional trauma we all suffered and are still suffering from after 2006's Doomsday. I didn't want this relationship to feel hollow, and I am really excited to see Twitter go into absolute bloody meltdown when it does happen. But I'm dreading the fact that this will be but a tribute to what could have been a genuinely brilliant development for a character that's now existed for over or nearly 60 years. It'll be like Rose kissing Finn in The Last Jedi. Much, much bigger build-up and more than likely a lot less of a backlash. So, Legend of the Sea Devils. The streak of bringing back characters and doing them justice, unfortunately I would say, is over. You did well though, Chris, I'll give you that. Again, nothing overtly offensive, nothing brilliantly amazing, straight down the middle, it's a 5. Amy agrees with me as well, it's a 5. Not the best penultimate episode for an incumbent Doctor so far, eh? Well, let's hope Chris does her justice in her finale because he's not really done her justice thus far. Let's also take a moment to collectively scream because Tegan and Ace are back later this year. Who in the hell was expecting that? I will admit though, I'll be completely honest, I didn't recognise Tegan at first. I recognised Ace, but I didn't realise it was Tegan. Thank you, Twitter, for pointing that out to me. I feel like such a fake fan, but I genuinely couldn't tell who it was. But I want to know what you thought about Legend of the Sea Devils. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below and your marks out of 10. We have no title and only a release window of the autumn for the centenary special for Jodie Whittaker's final episode as the Doctor and Chris Chibnall's final episode as a showrunner. Are you excited for that episode as well? Let me know in the comment section below. Is it because you're excited to see all the fan service we might get? What are Ace and Tegan doing? I want it to be Torchwood related, if I'm perfectly honest with you. We've got Kate Stewart back, Daleks, we've got Ashad, we've got the Cybermen, you've got all that sort of stuff. That's gonna be really cool. Or are you excited because it's the end of an era? And we're getting Russell back. Oh my god. Once again, thank you so much to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video, and if you're in the market for their services, 83% off and 3 months extra free if you use the code Hudson or click the top link in the description below. Finally, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I know I've been a bit hit and miss with YouTube because, you know, life, but hopefully I won't be so sporadic, and hopefully I will keep you posted because, you know, hopefully it won't be until the centenary that you see me again. If you want to, of course. Hopefully it won't be long until Escaping Cerberus is back, and funnily enough, it's going to be Chris Chibnall's first episode 42 in Series 3. That's what's coming up next, so either subscribe here or links in the description below to our podcast as well. Stay tuned. Anyway, thanks again to Surfshark VPN, and thanks again to you for watching. Until I see you again, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.